let's talk about social engagement. Very interestingly, you'll find that a lot of people now are leveraging social platforms for things such as self-promotion, but also it's become a really important source of learning. Why I think this is so important to organizations out there is simply because visibility has changed. Managers are now not in a place where they see every individual in their team on a day-to-day basis. Leaders can no longer attend one office and walk around the shop floor effectively and see everyone in the organization. Leadership visibility is really important. Someone can join an organization and not meet the people in the direct team for a number of months. So how do you promote yourself internally? How do you build your own social profile internally? How do you start to build a wider network than the people that you work with directly? Okay, how do you start to crowdsource knowledge as people are doing on social platforms these days? This is the type of thing that can be achieved through leveraging a social platform like Viva Engage. So the new features that you'll start to see that are above and beyond what's available with the current version of Viva Engage, so the seeded version, is things like Copilot within Viva Engage, which is going to help people understand what's happening on the social platform. What are the things to listen out for at the moment? Actually, how can it help me get involved in crafting some content on the platform? Okay, Leadership Corner is really shining a light and visibility on leaders. What are they talking about? What's important? How are they messaging and communicating with the organization? Okay, AMA events is really about how we create an event-based Q&A session, and this has become really important for having an extended view of Q&A, because normally what tends to happen is we have a session, a live town hall with our leadership team, and not everyone gets to answer all of their questions, gets their questions answered. Okay, and the whole idea behind an AMA event is you could start an AMA event before that session, so you can start to gather some questions, or you could continue this event for a period of time after. In fact, you could also use an AMA event to engage with a particular part of the organization that you normally don't tend to. So, for example, in Microsoft, our product teams host AMA events quarterly. And the whole idea behind it is I can now use this event time to go and ask a specific Q&A question that can be moderated, pushed out into the public hemisphere for people to also upvote those particular questions. Campaign features, and we'll talk about some of this because I've got some visuals for it. Campaign features really allows you to drive a sense of engagement around specific topics. Answers is how we can start to crowdsource answers from across the organizations, where we can use AI to tap subject matter experts on the shoulder. Intelligent Importer is there to automate the process of Q&A as and when required. And of course, if you're using this platform for all of these benefits, there's a whole host of analytics that's available to you. So when we talk about Leadership Corner, we talk about people having their own profile and storyline, but then we also want to think about their communities that they're following and who they're following at the moment. But for leaders, the whole idea behind Leadership Corner is dependent on how your organization is structured, each individual will automatically follow people in their upline. This means that anytime someone in their upline posts or communicates on the platform, that post is prioritized in the feed of that particular individual. Okay, so thinking about as an individual, my manager, my manager's manager, skip level all the way to CEO, I will automatically follow them on this platform when we leverage Leadership Corner. Okay, what I want to be able to do is share some impactful insights and have impactful analytics about what's happening, my social presence as a leader in the organization. And then of course you've got access to rich media as well that you can share. So very similar to the social platforms that we're utilizing outside. Communities is a feature that's been there already, and was part of Yammer. But how we think we can show some value with communities is thinking about how we get a wider set of communities of practice and how we leverage some really cool features within those communities. The type of things that I'm talking about is automating Q&As. within a community, thinking about driving a campaign in that community. Those are the type of things that we're talking about that can really start to show value. So thinking about how we can take away the burden of different service delivery partners. So for example, IT having a resource community in the platform where people can go and get information, resources, ask questions that are automated. That should hopefully reduce the amount of tickets that are going to the service desk for IT. Okay, so being able to discover those communities, this is an example of creating a co-pilot champions community. And interestingly, one of the features of communities is that you can distinguish between a verified community and a community that has sort of just been spun up unofficially. So verified communities that are business owned communities effectively, where you can go and seek information, resources, and so forth. As you can also see that there's co-pilot features available within the community as well. This is an example of being able to automate the Q&A process within a community. And as you can see here, you've got the ability to upvote a question and also verify that this is the best answer. So if I start to type in what is Microsoft Viva, it should automatically pop up with this response that Lynn has provided already. Okay, rather than waiting for someone to answer that question again. And for those who deploy the premium version of Viva Engage and are also looking at Copilot, what we are doing for our customers is we have a pre-built Copilot community that will be available. And the whole idea is anyone that receives a Copilot license will automatically be enrolled into that community. It will give you conversation starters. You can leverage Intelligent Importer to automate the FAQ Q&A process with Copilot. And then it'll also give you a number of conversation starters to really get the community moving forward. Okay. Now, bringing together the performance element with also the whole idea of sharing content and having a community feel within the Viva Engage platform, what we're expecting to happen is the ability to embed goals into a specific community. So thinking about having a resource group around diversity and inclusion, there may be some specific goals that we want to be able to achieve organization wide through diversity and inclusion. What we can do is embed those OKRs and the tracking of it into that community. So we can also understand in this community of practice, this is how we're coming along in terms of our performance. So that's what we expect to have, a part where we can start to add and give a view on how this particular objective is currently landing. So thinking about how we start to align communities of practice with performance is something that we're really excited about at Microsoft. Okay, so this is an example of Leadership Corner. Once again, the ability to add my own stories, short stories, similar to what we see on other social platforms, prioritized information from leaders, AMA events that are available for leaders to go and respond to, or the communication team, those who are leading the AMA event. Answers is something that we really leverage at Microsoft. And the whole idea is rather than me just being reliant upon my own network within the organization, I can simply go to this platform and ask the question in the hope that someone will help me answer that. And what it will do is AI will look for any questions that have been asked that are similar to what you're asking now and give you a view of what the best answers are. It will also give you the ability to upvote on questions that you are also interested in. And last but not least, it will also nudge subject matter experts on the shoulder and let them know that there's a question on the platform that we think you can help your colleague with, right? So the whole idea is I want to be able to leverage the wider network and community to help me get the answers I need to do my job. Okay. And this is just an example of the analytics that is available. And I'm conscious that we're short of time. So I'm going to try and whistle through Amplify very quickly. But the whole idea is network analysis. Leaders will have their own view on sentiment. And we can drive this down to specific posts that leaders are putting on the social platform. What was the sentiment? What was the type of comments that people were making behind this, right? That type of analytics is available. And for the comms folk, that use delegate access quite a lot. Yes, as someone that has been given delegate access to a leader's profile, you can also view the analytics on behalf of those leaders. Okay, so I'm not going to go into this video here because I know we're short of time, but the whole idea behind it is we can leverage Copilot to craft content for our users. Okay, what's coming down the line is even further integration with Viva Engage and the Teams platform. And the whole idea is, let's just say I'm a leader within the organization and I want to post something onto the social platform, make an announcement. I do not necessarily have to leave Teams to be able to do that. If I go to my Teams screen, I click on my profile, I can go straight to my storyline from here as an example. I can craft that content as an announcement, then I can post that announcement without having to leave the Teams window. So what you'll start to see over the next 12 months is even more integration with Viva Engage and Teams.